Okay, now I'm getting the understanding of this about the big, beautiful bill. It's a bad idea. I, you can't just think you could brand things. It'll be all good. This should be a group of different bills that are small and extremely concise. And as the holdouts are saying, immediate. You're simply going to have to pass multiple bills. There's no way around this. I don't understand why. I mean, like, this is one of these moments of an error an unforced error. This is absolutely an unforced error. And fundamentally why? Because it's fundamental. The party this is the party that doesn't like gigantic bills. Almost everything we've been fighting for 20 years has been gigantic bills. That's just a big pot of money, or I mean, yeah, I just a big pot of paper and money, and so no. These should be rock solid, no difficulty understanding it kind of things. They're just small bill, easy to deal with. The language is ironclad. Nobody 20 years from now can say, well, this, you see, but this law might have meant this. We could fiddle faddle and diddle daddle with it. And there's all these loopholes, because loopholes happen when you have a gigantic bill. Loopholes don't happen when you have a small bill. That's exceedingly well worded. This is really, really sad that the Republicans just, it really is like, this is what, like, rock hard, lifelong Republicans contiguously complain about with the party. And even when you have an entire new generation and you have all this new talent, you just refuse to do what is just the basic, solid, can't lose methodology of things. Small bills. It just, and this idea of like, oh, well, it's hard to organize and blah, blah, blah. It shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be at a certain stage, because there's people who are either going to get support for getting reelected by the fucking the Central Party, or they're not going to get support for reelection by the Central Party. That's how it works. It's that simple. Earners get more. The earners get a bag. That's how it goes. Earners get earners are earners, and so that's the thing. Is this is just such a bad idea. I mean, this really is one of these that should be let. I don't even know how you guys should handle this, because there's so many good wins right now that this is solidly one of these that, all it has to be is this just reversal on, no, we're going to have to cut this up into pieces. There's no way around it. Nobody likes that it's all one bill. Every single party, all parties are not enjoying breaking it up. Now, this is the key thing is, okay, if they're separate bills, then the Democrats have enough numbers in opposition. That's okay. That's not that huge of a problem. Really, like, that's really one of them that I'm like sitting back and I'm like, no. This is key to the future. The future is pointing out when you had this bill that had this extremely concise focus. It had one thing it was about. See, because saying like, oh, I was the person opposed to the bill that had 10 different things in it, well, then, you could be, then somebody could dick around about it. Maybe they were for this, maybe they were for that, maybe they believe in this, maybe they believe in that. When it's a bill that's one thing, send the people home who are trafficking children, like, toot sweet, like, boom, that's that, these bills that deal with one thing, if you blah, 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 welfare fraud, this and that, Medicaid fraud, whatever it is that you're trying to focus on, then that's something you can lance somebody with. When you had the chance to reform this, which would save people pay this much. Anybody who makes this much a year pays this much every year for this. Now, think about this. What would you be paying if you weren't paying for fraud? What would when, this many people, this terrible thing is done to them by somebody from another country who's not supposed to be here. My opponent voted to keep those kind of people here. So they could keep doing things to you, such as, and then you go through the horrible list of things because remember, everything about this is you have to, now it's about, this is what the Democrats do. This is the action they take. This is what the policy they prefer. This is what they are running on. And at the end of it, it ends up with your daughter having this done to her by a maniac. That's why you cut the bill up. Now, the problem with this is it's a lot of work. I mean, it was already a lot of work, but it's kind of even more work to do this thing of cut it up, have each one go through. If anyone who votes against it, you put them on the list. This is what they're for because this is what they voted against. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. We know because that's what we do to people. Well, this is what you cheered for. Here it is on Twitter 3 years ago. This is what you were against on, Facebook 4 years ago. Do you remember this? That's how we win. But so that's the only way I could see this going. Now, speaking of winning, now you have everybody engaging the new Syrian jihadists. So I want to make sure to point this out. This is definitely not how I wanted to win. Syrian jihadi man with the, I guess, no longer jihadi plan it wins. I don't know. All the polite people in society are embracing the guy, and I don't really understand it. I don't know. Yeah, it really is throwing me off, and I think it's a matter of what I don't know about him. And now I'd have to go digging around about finding out about his background, because it's not that he's some ingenious imam of renowned peace things. It's no. Obviously, this was like one of our men, some kind of acceptable strong man. It's just that who's embracing him and how is really interesting. And it's this part of my mind that's like, is Syria just getting looted? Is Syria just basically going to be just looted? But especially by the Islamic world, they're going to loot Syria. That's kind of what I'm wondering. if that's what we're seeing. I'm very, very curious about it. Yeah, it's one of those things that we know we gotta wait and see what happens. But anyway, so then beyond all that, now we're starting to get more and more of the kind of angry militant tranny kook maniac stuff coming up, as everybody figured. Just the liberals, the college educated whites, they need to have a crazy when their genius, when their natural genius goes awry, because they don't, they're already liberal. So and so it's and now we're starting to get even like these guys catching in Florida, I don't know, like Training Man with the Trainee Plan, and and trafficking people and stuff. That was one. It was like it's like over a half an hour of that Florida sheriff. I swear, that guy, he's fucking hilarious, dude. He's like a fucking movie star. And now, so that was another thing. Dude, everyone's becoming a fucking cop and a soldier. This is why I wanted to... There was a moment where I'm like, no, there was something I saw that told me Carville was right. That Carville was absolutely correct in pointing out, no, the Democrats are going to become this kind of kooky minority party. And so another thing in Portland died. Their largest skyscraper, I believe. Now it was the such and such bank building. It's no longer anymore. That bank has left, and it's just the doom loop is now starting to become overwhelming. Now, what was it? LA has at least, LA City, LA County has at least now 3 fires a day in homeless encampments that firefighters have to respond to. So somebody might be like, that's pretty wild. Like, and so what I want to make sure is the news went over these calls this year. I think I'm getting my math actually probably incorrect. Because wait, okay, it's the 5th month. Let's just average it out to 30 days. That would definitely be... No, it would be about 10 calls a day. Because they're up to 1,000 already. And that was in it might have even been geolocated, that this area that they were at had 1,000 calls already, while some other area had 500 calls already. Which that all of these things just really kind of absolutely throw me off when I even try to put this together in my mind. What LA must sound like at this point, with the constant sound of probably police and firefighters, and yeah. So the doom loop from San Diego all the way to Vancouver, British Columbia, is now in full effect. There's nobody's trying to stop it. This is actually an important concept too, to really get, because now Microsoft, I believe, is moving out of Seattle, moving everything at least to Bellingham. If I remember correctly on that one, so Seattle's starting to become the next one. Boeing's no longer there, and Now, Microsoft isn't going to be there. There's a bunch of other companies that would be like, well, why are we here if Microsoft isn't here as well? You know, we might as well be in Bellingham, you know, and soon, with Starlink becoming more and more and more normal, because now I just saw some Starlink device that it's like, I think it's some type of tablet that links up to Starlink or something weird like that, or it's I haven't kept aware of those products and those lines and stuff. But anyway, so the thing that started to hit me about this was I started to really like walk through it, and I'm like, no, Democrats, this is really a problem for you guys. Like, you guys really now have to take very seriously this idea of like, Gavin Newsom's recent interview was not an interview that one was even odd for him, where he's like blaming, saying we have to get serious, serious business about these homeless people, serious stuff. And so, people now are going backwards in time and finding more and more of his speeches that were the same content. And so it's gotten into this thing now with Gavin Newsom of, if this guy thinks he's going to be running for president, I mean, he's smoking some serious dope. I mean, he's smoking some serious things, and because he looks like, Bale? He looks like Bale in that movie. I mean, just everything about the guy screams just the worst. He's obviously one of the worst humans that in office, in politics, and now it's even with the reformers of the Democratic Party. How's it going getting fucking Nancy Pelosi to just vanish? To just get some of these old fuckers out of your party. Like, really think about that one too. The Republicans, all these people jump in, MAGA, America First, all these people, they come in with Pepe's and talking a gang of shit on Twitter and totally change the lineup of the Republican Party with the help of Donald Trump. With all forces in hell's creation against him. Yet you Democrats are plagued by these old crooks that you can't, and they are. That they've been there forever. The only reason they can still be holding on to it is because they're literally that greedy. And it's something about liberal baby boomers. It's something about them. It's something about that. It's a personality thing that that as they get older, they can't really, they can't not do that. They like virtue. They haven't practiced that, any of the virtues in so long that this idea that they would, that humilitas and charitas and, No, it's not going to happen. And the way I like to make sure to really stiletto this in is because they don't bring up proteges. And everybody right now can say who Trump's protege is. And if not, if something happens to him, who else? You already got 3 probably that you could guess. Who's any protege of the Democratic Party that people like? That people don't want to see them hit by a car. Anyone at all. And that they're not just feigning respect for, like AOC. Like literally one of the dumbest thoughts that's ever been in politics since Pelosi, who was a thought. I mean, like really, Pelosi was just a very, very, but she was smarter than AOC. she, she really was. She was way better at the game than AOC. AOC is really legitimately like just obviously not a very smart person. Ilhan Omar, obviously not really a very smart person. It just, and then, oh my God, the whole diverse gang. You see, you should have gone Asian. You should have gone Asian. So this is where whoever is in whatever glowy was advising you, okay? That guy, that tough guy, he was a tough guy. He trained with the Mujahideen. He was in the wars, and then he realized that he was a little girl inside. And ever since then, he's been training politicians in how to interact with high-level intelligence, tough guys like him. Whatever it is, or probably a chick. Actually, I'm totally tripping. It was probably a chick. Probably a bunch of glowy girl brigade that's supposed to be your liaison to like the national, what was it, the National Intelligence Council. That's it. And that's its own story. National Intelligence Council. Yep. People got kicked off of that. Tulsi Gabbard was like, oh, you and you, yeah, you're totally dicks. You're out of here. And so now, see, so you guys got to blame it. You see, you should have had 4 Tulsis. There we go. Oh my God, that's what I'm leaving off on. This would have been your West Coast, Pacific Island kind of network. You then have a variety of Californian. Remember, there's no Hispanics. You have no Hispanic women who are hot, especially hot, like legit, like. Well, we do. Where I mean, like the Republicans have that. They've covered that. Like what's her face who does he keeps showing up in bikini photos and stuff like that. Like that's just money, dog. That's just money. That's the thing. It's just straight money. I mean, that's the thing is with AOC talking all this like socialist stuff and everything. It's very attractive. It mostly attracts girls. It attracts kind of not so great guys. But I mean, this, it's. When it's like, oh yeah, it's like, she's well known for, oh yeah, for her hunting photos and bikini photos. That's money. It's just money. There's no way around that. It's not. It's gold bars. It's gold bullion politically, and because and you guys don't have it. You have like kind of a mid barbecuing Satan, and drinking like gluten-free beer, it's like that's not money. That's like not even wooden nickels, because wooden nickels are old and like, but no, this is like something like super lame. Like this is, it's like weed that, it's like Bammer weed. All full of stems and seeds. Bammer weed. That's what it is. Democrats are Bammer now. And this is the thing. This is in the age of the dispo. So in the age of like true capitalism, where you finally could go and buy your pot at the pot store, And you could say like, oh, these people got the best pot, or they don't have the best pot. And now, but and somehow the Democrats are the last person who has, like, for the Frisco heads, for the DP weed, you get a garbage bag full, but you got to pick out the seeds like a motherfucker. Don't just grind that shit. Oh God. Okay. All right. That's my rant for today. I'll talk to you guys later.